Hey, y'all. Oh, goodness. What's going on, everyone? Happy Friday. I hope you guys had a fantastic Friday. Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. We did go live first. We did go live first on Twitch and Twitter, but there was no volume there. But now there is. Now there is. Shout out to everyone watching on TikTok as well. This is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Orange County. I hope you guys enjoyed the Real Housewives of Orange County. I hope you also enjoyed our Real Housewives of New York and Salt Lake City recaps this week. Be sure to check those out if you missed them and let me know what you thought of it. We have 4 Real Housewives shows recapping every week. I'm gonna have to combine some of them because I can't. I like them, but New York, you're not that great. Look, there were some moments from this Orange County episode because I was like, because I twerk on a fence, but I said Shannon's not as innocent as she portrays herself to be. But I'm a little soft to her. Okay, just a little bit. And just when I was about to turn on her, she drops the smoking gun, and I'm like, did your mouth drop when she pulled out the receipt on Alexis? Ooh. My mouth was, because remember she said she felt like Alexis had something to do with that lawsuit from years ago. And then she dropped the receipt. I was like, oh, shoot. So just when I was about to turn on Shannon, I was just like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that and so much more. But first, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. It is a subscribers-only live chat on YouTube. Shout out to those of you that are watching on Twitch, Twitter, and those of you watching on Facebook. We really do appreciate you guys. Samia says, did I miss a recap last week? No, that's when we had the Brooke Ashley and Taria Faison on. That's when we talked about Salt Lake City. That's when we talked about Real Housewives of New York. We talked about Real Housewives of Dubai. We talked about Real Housewives of Orange County. So there wasn't a separate Orange County recap. I cheated last week. Let's get into this recap.
Here we go now.
Happy Friday, guys. I hope you guys are having a fantastic Friday. It's starting to finally feel like fall here in New York City. Not sure I'm happy about it, but a part of me's happy about it at the same time. Like, I don't want to get too cold too soon, but it definitely is a chill in the air. There's definitely a chill in the air. I don't know about you guys, but I don't mind it. I like spring and I like fall. I just don't like we've been really dealing with a lot of like warm weather here in New York for an extended period of time. So now it's just starting to feel like fall. I got my pumpkins. If you follow me on YouTube, I show you my little pumpkin that I put on my kitchen counter. I was like, I'm starting to feel a little festive. Like if I got the pumpkin any earlier, I feel like it would have been, first of all, it did. But also, I feel like it would have been, it wouldn't have felt like fall. But now it's starting to feel like fall. Like I should have put on a sweater, but I need to unpack my sweaters and things like that. Lord. No more shorts. Whoa, Kempire. No more shorts weather until I go to Los Angeles. Los Angeles, I'll see you on November 20th. So make sure you get your tickets for our Kempire After Dark live experience at the Bourbon Room. More information on that is available in the description. Speaking of today's live show, I want to just say thank you to Factor Meals for sponsoring today's live recap of the Real Housewives of Orange County. You know I love me easy and delicious, and you know I love to eat. So Factor Meals gives us something wonderful to eat and quality to eat in under 2 minutes, okay? And as speaking of fall weather, sweater weather pairs perfectly with savory fall foods. But with your busy schedule, sometimes it's hard to eat the way that you like. That's where Factor comes in. Their chefs do the shopping and the chopping to bring you fresh, never frozen, fully cooked meals right to your doorstep. All you have to do is heat and eat. The meals are dietitian approved, so you know you're getting the nutrition that you need along with the fall flavors that you crave. What I love most is that they have something for every lifestyle, from gourmet plus, keto, calorie smart, vegan and veggie, and so much more. I love the add-ons especially as well. If you want a discount though, head on over to factormeals.com/Kempire50 and use code Kempire50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month. That's code Kempire50 at factormeals.com/Kempire50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. More information on Factor Meals and everything Kempire will be available in the description. All right. Look, where do we begin? So the ladies are packing and getting ready to go on this trip to London. But before they do that, Heather pulls Jen, Shannon, and Gina together to get their mammograms done. They flash back to a scene where Shannon says, I haven't had a mammogram done in 10 years. I was like, what? What? In 10 years, Shannon just celebrated her 60th birthday. That is irresponsible. Sidebar, we usually do a fundraiser for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We haven't forgotten. We're going to do one. It's not too late. It's only the 11th day of the month. We still have 20 days to raise some money for the charity that we normally do every month. So stay tuned for that. After the live, I'm going to hook it up. Oh, but I'm so glad that they included this scene. And can we normalize women coming together and doing sort of like these sort of events around getting the mammograms done? Because maybe that would make it easier for people to actually do it. So I love that they opened up this episode with this get together that Heather planned for everyone to get their mammograms done. We find out, Jen says, well, I did find a lump 5 months ago. I understand she's scared. Look, I understand she's scared. And she tried to use the excuse, she doesn't want to bring bad news to her children. But ma'am, if let's say it was something that you should be worried about, the early detection and treatment would prevent bad news. So Jen, stop. Luckily, we find out it was nothing. It was something from surgery. But Shannon, 10 years since you had a mammogram, you're 60. Sorry. I know she hates it when people keep bringing up her age. You look great for 60, Shannon. But you're 60 and you haven't gotten a mammogram since you were 50? Madam, Gina just turned 40, so that's when she started doing her mammograms. But Shannon, 10 years? I mean, luckily, because I was like, I don't know how this is going to turn out. Luckily, everyone was fine. Everyone was fine, except Heather. Heather, I mean, she's fine. However, she has dense breasts. And in my conversations with women, there are a lot of women that have dense breasts. However, her risk factor for cancer now is at 39%. 39%, and it should be like around 12%. So they go back and they get an update. And yes, it's very scary getting this information because Gina had to go back for a sonogram, and Shannon didn't have to do anything extra. She didn't have to do a sonogram this time, even though she has very dense breasts for her age. Fine. Jen was a little worried, but she's fine. I thought the same thing as Heather when everyone came back. I was like, is no one going to ask Heather how hers went? I said, maybe I missed it. But then Heather mentions it. I was like, oh, so I didn't miss it. No one asked her how she, and look, it could be because Heather always has everything together. She even put this event together. So maybe people just didn't think of it. But still, like no one was just like, and Heather, you're good? No one, not one person thought to ask Heather. And I felt for Heather. I really did feel for Heather in that moment. Anyways, we do see that in this scene, they talk about the text message that, what's her name? Alexis responded. Let me pull up the text message because I do have the text message here in regards to Alexis' response to Shannon's text message in regards to the trip. So this is her response. And Alexis, I think you think that this landed the way you think it landed, but it really didn't land any which way. It just sort of makes you look, as you've been looking, ridiculous and thirsty. So she responds to Shannon, "Hi, Shannon Bador. Since you're hosting this amazing trip to Europe with our friends, surely you can scrounge up the funds to pay my future husband his $75,000 that you borrowed and owe him. Safe travels. Heart hand emojis." Really? Honestly, it didn't land the way she thought it was going to land because no one really cares. No one cares if you're on this trip or not, Alexis. We barely even thought of you this trip. Did you think of her? I didn't think of her until they brought. I almost skipped over this particular point, but I was like, oh, I have the text message. Let me bring it up. Anyways. Let's move on. So everyone's packing for the trip. Shannon's packing for the trip. She's talking with her daughters. Her daughters will also be in Europe at the same time. She's going to meet up with her daughters. Fine. We see Tamra packing with Eddie. And of course, she's talking about how she ran into Jen and she said she apologized to Jen. And Eddie was like, so what did Jen say? And she was just like, she was very stiff. And, and she was just like, okay, we need to talk about it. Or something like that. I can't remember what she said, but basically it wasn't like, it's fine, we're moving. No, Jen, very much like what we've said, you can't trust Tamra. Because this is how many times of Tamra turning on Jen. And Jen really hasn't done anything to Tamra. And Tamra likes to say, look, let's just leave the husband out of it and just have our friendship. How do we leave you leave my husband out of it? Jen is not bringing anything up about Eddie. It's you. Anyways, but in the scene, she refers to Ryan as a little B word. Okay. And simultaneously, as these scenes are happening, Jen FaceTimes with Ryan and talks about running into Tamra. And she said that Tamra did apologize, but she's just like, it's just words with her. Like she does this over and over and over again. So the group, we have these little moments right before they are getting ready for their trip to London. Everyone's packing and getting ready for their trip. So they all end up at the airport, but the first to arrive are Heather and Katie. And as you know, Heather and Katie are not in the best place. Okay? And it's a little awkward. And Heather's like, I guess my prize of arriving early is being here with Katie. I don't understand why it would be awkward. It shouldn't be awkward. What happened between them, although Katie, I feel like it was a terrible hill to die on, I'm just like, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. It shouldn't be awkward. I think that they could get along fine. We saw them get along a little bit later on in the trip. And even Emily was surprised. She's like, look at you guys having like a full-on conversation. Okay, fine. Let me take a sip from my coldest water bottle. Okay. Cherie says that I wish they didn't bring her back. She can go. Tamra? Damn. Danny says, this is pre-recorded? What do you think? I was pulling up y'all comments before, so why would this be pre-recorded? Deborah says that Heather made it awkward. She did. But I'm a little like on the fence because I could see why she would not see it for Katie. Like, you're coming for my marriage and I don't even know you. Okay. Sarah says, why is it okay to call a man a little B word? If anyone called a woman that, it would be a disaster. Make it stop. I agree, but they do that a lot on Housewives. Doesn't make it right, but they do it a lot. Melissa Faye says that Heather has a real hate for Katie. Like I said, I'm a little on the fence with that because it did feel like Katie was coming for her marriage. And look, I can't sit here and say how I would feel if you came for my boo, because you know how, as a tourist, we're loyal to our boo. So when I do have a boo, it might be a situation if you come from a boo. Okay? And I don't know you, and you're just sort of doing this for a show. I wouldn't say I would hold a grudge, but I'm not going to be like buddy-buddy with you either. Jean says Heather holds a grudge. I think she'll get over it by next season because no one's going to be interested in a fight between them and them not liking each other. Because it doesn't seem like there are people that don't get along, and you can see why they wouldn't get along. I could see Katie and Heather getting along. I think Heather just refusing to open up to the opportunity. And part of me doesn't blame her. Just saying. Anyways, so the other ladies arrive. No offense to JetBlue, but I was like, damn, are we on a budget? We're taking JetBlue to London. I didn't even know JetBlue went to London. Is that new? Oh, but okay, they're on the plane. We see them on the plane. Look, first of all, when Shannon arrived, Heather had to scream to the entire airport, "Happy 60th birthday, Shannon!" And then she does it on the plane. She goes to the loudspeaker and she says, "Happy birthday, 60th birthday, Shannon." And she's single. And what was Emily doing brushing her teeth at her seat? Go to the bathroom and go brush your teeth. She's so nasty. Like, there's parts of me that loves Emily's humor, but there's been a couple of nasty stuff that have happened this season between her and Tamra. And now you're at your seat brushing your teeth and then washing it down with Dr. Pepper. As Katie said, what in the Ohio is going on? Ohio, she said it, not me. I don't know if that's how y'all do. Look, I don't know if that's how y'all do over there, okay? Hey, Sensi, what's going on? Deborah says, JetBlue, really? I laughed. Look, and no offense to JetBlue. I will take a JetBlue flight. I just felt like, okay, are we on a budget? Maybe it was the best budget they had, best one that they had. Okay, maybe. So Emily's brushing her teeth at her seat, slobbering. Gross. Look gross. Here's the thing. You know what I really do like about what Heather and Shannon are fostering? More so on Heather's side. Despite their issues, I really feel like Heather has been there for Shannon and has really been sort of like a cheerleader for Shannon. And I know I say this now, and we see what happens at the end of this episode of Real Housewives of Orange County, but I'm kind of like she really is rooting for her friend. Or do you think she's taking a dig by every time saying happy 60th birthday? I mean, it's a blessing. She looks great for 60. I mean, she looks great overall. Shersher says Emily's gross. Jupiter says that Emily is so combative. It's crazy. Oh, God. W. Berg says, what about when she had a sip of her dog's bowl? Don't remind me. Like, there's some nasty stuff. Love Monica says, I love Katie. I hope she stays. I like her too. I really do like Katie, and I love the fact that Jen and Katie have really formed a real friendship, like best friends, which is crazy to me, but like really cool at the same time. Excuse me. Hold on. Oh yes, you guys have to remember. Britt says, when Emily drank after her dog last season, I knew she was nasty. Jean says, Kempire, I adore you, but I disagree. You don't have to start off by saying that. You can just say you disagree. I think Heather is a sniper from the side when it comes to Shannon. Look, maybe, but in this moment, I'm basing what I'm saying on what she's giving. And what she's giving is supportive. But like I said, could it be nice nasty? In regards to happy 60th birthday, Shannon. Let me make an announcement on the entire flight. Happy birthday, 60th birthday, Shannon. And she's single. Lonely and 60 and single. Maybe. I'm going to take it as she's celebrating her friend. Okay? She's celebrating her friend. Look. All right. What else happens? Okay, we were off the flight. What I do enjoy about Orange County and Beverly Hills, they're not fighting over rooms. All the rooms were fabulous. Everyone got a nice room, whatever. All right. So Shannon gifts the group scarves and hats and things like that. And Tamara's like, why is she giving away gifts when she owes John Jansen $75,000? Do you think that Shannon actually paid for that? We know she's not paying for this trip. I mean, that comment would come from Tamara. But so she said she should focus on, Tamara says that. But then Heather and Tamara have a conversation about the Jeff Lewis interview. So first of all, y'all do know that Jeff Lewis and Shannon are friends. So it's not surprising that she went on there to speak her case. But what she says on Jeff Lewis basically confirms that this was a loan. Did you guys think otherwise, that this wasn't a loan, that it was a gift and John was just being petty? I don't know if I thought it was a loan. I never really thought about it. Even if it was a loan, she said that she was willing to pay it back. That's the thing. Like, to me, it was like, okay, who cares? It could have been a loan. When you're in a relationship, do you say, oh, it's a loan? Not necessarily. But she was willing to pay it back. He didn't want to sign a non-disclosure agreement. And here we are. But she says on Jeff Lewis basically that it was a loan. So Tamara and Heather are like, is it a loan or not a loan? Is it a loan or not a loan? So they were confused by her Jeff Lewis interview. And then Heather brings up when Shannon came to her room back in Sonoma. Rewind the tape. Remember when I did my recap? I said I found it to be weird, of all the people that Shannon would go to with this picture after her accident and talk about this, would be Heather. Yes, we know that they've been building something, but of all the people on this trip, you go to Heather with this? I told you back then, I thought that was weird. I was like, something feels off about that. And Heather brings it up. She's like, I think it was weird because she kind of came to me and said that, he had this video and she showed me that picture. So she felt like that Shannon was being a little manipulative. I agree. I agree. But I thought that from back then when we first saw it. Rewind the tape. Look, rewind the tape. All right, so the ladies are getting ready for dinner, and Emily and Gina are talking, and they're talking about Jen's glam. So Jen has gotten glam while in London town, okay? And they're like, don't you have like bills to pay? Gina's just like, this is what you do. You get glam one time, you learn from them, and then you don't pay for glam anymore. You've learned. And she admits it's a scam. It's a scam that Todd set up, and girl, the glam that you be doing for yourself. Like when you see Jen come out, it's like you could tell she had her glam done professionally. You see Gina, stomping in, and you're like, we could tell you did that yourself. Whoa, Gina. Mind you, she's saying all this in her confessional, looking that infamous confessional look. Like, girl, like you're not selling us on your idea of stealing glam. You're not selling us on that because, girl, I look, I'm going to have to get Brian and that $16 million and have him pay for glam because I don't want to come out here looking like Gina. Right? You don't want to look like Gina. Nope. Keep doing what you're doing, Jen. I don't care if you got evicted. Keep doing what you're doing. All right. She got evicted, but she's now in a mansion. All right. Moving on. So they're concerned about how Jen is paying for glam. Jen then discusses her issues with Tamra and the things that she's been saying about Ryan. And Katie admits in her confessional, because Tamra put out there that whole stuff about the FBI and Ryan's association with this guy, she said it's put a little bit of a sprinkle of a question mark around Ryan for her. And that's the thing, especially when you put it out there or you put it out there on a show like this. Now, we're all looking at Ryan with the side eye. However, he doesn't help himself. He doesn't help himself. Like when he was talking to Katie's husband, trying to let us know what he does for a living, and we were all like, huh. And look, his vibe is very scammy, but I can only wish the best for Jen, okay? I can only wish the best for Jen. Because I like her. I don't necessarily like Ryan. But we shall see. Do you think they will actually get married? Has Ryan ever been married before? I don't remember. I know he's dated a lot of married women. Allegedly. Allegedly, according to Eddie. So, has he ever been married before? I can't remember. I can't. Nasser says, absolutely, Ryan is sus. Hey, Vagillion, it's okay that you're late. It's all right. You can always rewind the tape. You can always rewind the tape. All right. Guys, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's easy. It's free. Happy Friday. This is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Orange County. Yes, we are live. Don't forget to like the video. It's, like I said, it's easy and it's free. Moving on. What else? Okay, so the group dinner. Let's talk about the group dinner. So they all sit down for this group dinner, and Tamara brings... Okay, this... You guys let me know if you thought the same thing. Tamara bringing up the mammograms and then asking Heather about hers. Why do I feel like Heather put the battery in Tamara's back? Why do I feel like Heather told Tamara about how she felt? And that's why Tamara asked about the mammograms. Anyone else felt like that? Look, I know not every housewife is calculated, but I did have that thought. I thought to myself, I was like, did Heather mention this to Tamara to bring it up on camera? And would it be the first time that Tamara has been used? She literally admitted to it, that Shannon had her do stuff like that before. So she's more than willing to actually do it. So she brings it up, and then Heather gets emotional. And she's like, you know what bothered me is that no one asked me about my results. And I forgot who said it. It was either Shannon or Jen. They were like, oh, I thought you were good. I heard everyone, happy about it. And she was like, no, that was, I think, Gina's. And I was like, ooh. But I felt for her. I did feel for her. Because no matter if she asked Tamara to bring it up, because I do feel like she did, even if she did feel hurt about it. Gina making this about her, she's like, oh, she asked me to bring up stuff. Why wouldn't she call me after the mammogram and tell me? Girl, your timeline was like weeks or months in between. We're talking about probably a couple of days in between the mammogram and this trip. Okay? So you making this about you and how Heather did not, and they talk about this again next week on next week's episode about Gina feeling like you should have brought it up to me. She felt a way. You didn't ask how she was. Just own it and move on. Just saying. So Heather does get emotional about it, and I really felt for Heather because honestly, I thought the same thing. I was like, is no one going to ask Heather about how hers went? She, first of all, hosted this event. Secondly, I would want to know about every person. How did yours go? How did yours go? How did yours go? But Heather, I think, is so used to being put together, and people are so used to her being put together that that's part of the reason why they didn't check in on her. Okay? Mr. Melon Magic says, Heather did mention it, so Tam brought it up. I think so. Foxy says, Gina, sit down. Shaking my damn head. I just don't understand how Gina turned this into something about her. Just own the fact that you didn't ask. Why didn't you ask? Oh, Mr. Melon Magic says, in the words of Wendy Williams, clap if you think Heather should suffer. Really? Auntie Kim says Tamara is exhausting and deplorable. Damn. But I will say this. in this conversation with Shannon, because then it turns into a conversation with Shannon and what she said on Jeff Lewis and the lawsuit and things like that, and whether it was a loan or not, I have to say Tamara did give us context, because I know all of us love us some Shannon Storms Bedore, but I told you I've heard that she's terrible behind the scenes, allegedly, but I also don't think she's so innocent. I do think that she was manipulating Heather in bringing this on camera. I do think that she's asked Tamara before to bring things up on camera and then pretend like she didn't know. I do believe that. I do believe Joel Cam Booster about her being a nightmare behind the scenes. I can believe that, but also think that John Jansen is a terrible human being and Alexis is thirsty to be on television. Those two things can't exist together. Right? Look, right? Timon says Heather was doing Tamara's dirty work. I think they were doing each other's dirty work. So it leads to them confronting Shannon about whether this was a loan or not. Then she revealed that she did receive a promissory note from John Jansen in regards to this loan. Apparently, John Jansen now wants a public apology along with the $75,000. It doesn't work like that, John Jansen. Take your $75,000 and go. Like, why aren't we suing this man for extortion? Now you want an apology? You better take your $75,000 and go, or don't take anything at all. Like, he's becoming annoying. Do you think that she should make a public apology? Because he claims that she made him seem like, oh, he was the worst person in the world and blah, 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 blah. You better first of all, you need to take your $75,000 and be on your way. Because now you just want to punish Shannon. And look, Shannon, this is your karma. Oh, you didn't see that coming, did you? This is your karma. Because look, I don't think Shannon's innocent. For you to be with this man for 4 years says a lot about your personality too, Shannon. Says a lot about your personality. And Alexis, I wish you luck, but I don't. I wish you the worst. I wish you the worst. Like Joe Cam Booster. I'm kidding. I'm being facetious. Angelica, thank you so much for the super chat. Angelica says, did you see Shannon on Watch What Happens Live? She said something about John saying that he was going to accept the money, but he wants her to talk good about him. Yes. I didn't see that, but I did see a clip from my friends over at CC Loves You on Instagram. I saw that she had said that. Thank you for the super chat, Angelica. Would you apologize? Do you think Shannon should apologize? Why? Because think about this. Even before Shannon said anything on this show, he still wasn't willing to take the $75,000. How do we know if she does all of these things, basically embarrass her in front of everyone, she does all these things, and then he's like, oh, well, now I want this. No, sir. You better take this money and go before I sue you for extortion and blackmail and file charges. Honestly, I think she should. Don't you think she should? Where are the attorneys? Miss Bernice, thank you so much for the super chat. Miss Bernice says, Tamara ain't ish, and she's the devil. Damn, not the devil. Look, look, this is probably the 1 week, although I do agree with you in regards to Tamara, but I appreciated the context that Tamara gave us in regards to Shannon. Shannon's not innocent either. Shannon's not innocent. But so as I'm watching Shannon, fight Tamara and Heather, because Heather's just like, I feel like you were being manipulative by coming to my room in Sonoma. Jen, with her innocent, Bambi self, is sort of like, she's just coming to you as a friend. She's just, no. Look, because even I, watching this, was like, no. Shannon, why are you going to Heather? There's plenty of people on the strip that you could have went to that you're closer to, but you're coming to Heather? Jen's like, no, she's just coming to a friend. She's looking to a friend. Why didn't they invite Vicky on the trip? Like, they should have invited Vicky. That would have been nice. Anyways. So after Tamara chimes in, basically saying that, because Tamara did say that Shannon admitted to her that this was a loan. Do I trust Tamara? Not really. But literally, Shannon told on herself on Jeff Lewis that it was a loan. So what are we arguing about? It was a loan. But this man wants her to apologize. He doesn't want to sign an NDA. Okay. So they talk about that, and then Tamara says something, and then Shannon's just like, you know what, I'm not doing this, and she gets up and she walks away from the table. I thought she was going back to her room, but she ended up going to the bar. Okay? So Gina follows her, and that's where I switch again. Here I go twerking on a fence. I switch again, and I'm like, Shannon pulls up. She's like, you know, when I was sending this text message to Alexis, I found the old text message where Alexis basically said that her and her ex-husband were going to be sending a cease and desist to Tamara and Shannon. She never sent the text message to Tamara. She sent it to Shannon. So Shannon says that she had the text message where it proves it. So she reads the text message, and we get to see the text message. I was like, well, this was the smoking gun. And of course, Shannon wanted to make sure that she said this on the show. Yeah, look, we didn't know whether or not that there would be proof. So I'm glad from the very first episode of Real Housewives of Orange County down to one of the last episodes, we finally have the proof that we needed. So Alexis was behind that lawsuit. But is that the real reason that Shannon was upset with Alexis? It might have been a part of it, but I think the bigger part is that her future, that Alexis is dating her. Alexis is with her ex-boyfriend. That's her future husband, if that makes sense. So I thought that was an interesting way to end the episode, because I was like, okay, Shannon, I'm back. Team Shannon. Not that I was ever team anyone, because you know how I do. But I was still sort of like, Shannon, you're walking away from this argument because you've been caught in a lie. I will agree with that. You've definitely been caught in a lie. John Jansen is still trash. Alexis is trash as well for getting herself involved and using this as her storyline. However, I appreciate that we've come full circle. We've literally come full circle with the information that she indeed was involved in that lawsuit that was brought against Tamara and Shannon. I was not expecting that. I thought maybe at the reunion we would get some sort of legal paperwork proving that Alexis was a part of it. But the text message said it all. Because here's the thing. Alexis knew what she was saying. She knew exactly what she was saying in that moment during the first episode. Like, my name wasn't on any of the legal documents. She knew what she was saying because she knew that she wasn't on any of that stuff. So she could easily have her husband do it, even though she's the motivation behind it and involved in it and giving the okay for it. But she's like, I'm not on the paperwork. I'm not on paperwork. Thank you for reminding me, Angel. I forgot to mention at the dinner table, we did learn a little bit more about Katie, because when they were talking about the mammograms, Katie talked about how she's going to Korea and, you know, being adopted, her not knowing her health history because that's so important. She did reveal that she's going to Korea with her family to meet her mother, who's 55. Her mom had her when she was just 15 years old. So Heather has, like, she's so engaged in the conversation. Emily's like, what is happening here? And Heather's in her, well, first of all, Katie says, you know, Heather is cold, like, what did she, I wrote it down. She said that Heather is ice cold polite. And then Heather says in her confessional, she's like, well, Katie's history is interesting. Too bad she's not. Too bad she's not. These two do not like each other. I thought maybe during the season we would see why, more than just a paparazzi photo, but I don't see what else happened besides the paparazzi photo and Heather looking her up and down at a party. I don't know. All right. Should we take some callers? Should we take a couple of callers? I'm going to drop the call-in link for the general audience. Shout out to everyone watching on Twitter. Hey, Twitter, what's going on? What's going on, Shantae? What's going on, everyone on Twitter and Twitch? I appreciate you guys being here. Shout out to everyone watching on YouTube and Facebook as well. Shout out to our folks on TikTok watching from behind the scenes. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to the Kempire podcast. I have a couple of episodes that I still need to upload in regards to our live recap. So yes, I know you all are waiting to hear those episodes because some of you like to take them on the go or listen in your car. I will be uploading them probably over the weekend. I can't promise today. Okay, I can't promise today. Let me drop the call link for everyone in the live chat. So keep liking the video, guys. We're almost at 200 likes. Okay. And there we go. Let me know if you want to call in and share your thoughts. I'll give you guys a few minutes to get into the lineup backstage. How would you guys rate this week's episode? Let me see how you were rating this episode on YouTube. Let me see. Okay. Wow. With almost 300 votes, you guys rated this episode. We're almost at the end. You guys rated this episode between 7 and 10, 80% of the vote. I hardly ever see that amount. With almost 300 votes, you guys rated this episode between 7 and 10, 80%. Wow. Keep voting, live chat. Keep voting. And if you're part of the replay crew, be sure to let us know how you would rate this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Orange County from 1 to 10. I honestly, because of that smoking gun towards the end, I'm going to give the episode a 9. And I like the fact that they were calling out Shannon because I like to see layers to a person. And although we do enjoy Shannon, I like the fact that they're showing us, well, she's not 100% innocent, but John Jansen is still trash, and so is Alexis. And it also showed me that in this moment, Tamara gave me a little context in regards to Shannon. I do believe that Shannon uses the women to do her dirty work on the show, but the same can be said for Heather as well. But definitely, I think I'm gonna give it like a 9 out of 10 for me. Okay. All right. Let me see. Okay. Oh, okay. Look, you guys had things to say. Y'all had things to say. Shout out to everyone in the backstage. We're gonna bring some folks up to share their opinions on the Real Housewives of Orange County. But first, I just want to say thank you. We had a super chat, and guys, we appreciate the super chats, the Venmos, the Cash Apps. You guys checking out our sponsors like Factor Meals, our coldest water bottle, discount code Kempire 10, getting your merch like this hat. Okay, this is embroidered. Just want to let y'all know, embroidered. All right, let's get to the super chat. Leroy, thank you so much for the super chat. Leroy said, I laughed so hard when Tamara said Shannon looked like she was in jail. Hashtag Team Tamara. Here's the thing. When I looked up and I was like, wait a minute, I have to rewind it. I was like, oh, she does look like she's in jail. But in that moment, I think it's just hard for people like, come on, we're trying to be serious, people. She's upset and she's walking away. But it was funny. We can laugh. All right. Let's get to some of the callers, guys. Let's bring up Wendy first. Wendy, what did you want to say about the Real Housewives of Orange County, its latest episode?
Hi, Kempire. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm off today. I took off today. Today is Black Girls Take a Day Off Day.
Yes, I almost forgot.
Yes, so I took a day off. But I'm in the bathroom twisting my hair. But
you're supposed to take the day off.
I didn't see the whole. I didn't see the whole episode. I stopped because I saw that you was live, and I said, "Oh, got to stop."
Oh,
Here's my thing. Alexis is the Lulu. If you think that Shannon was going to allow you to go on her trip after what you're doing to her and saying to her, and the thing is, she's offering to pay back the money. Just don't talk about her.
Yeah.
So it's something. It should say something about your character not wanting to take that deal. And that's all I have to say.
He wants to punish her.
Huh?
He wants to punish her.
Right. And so that should look at him sideways. You're doing it yourself, John. You don't need Shannon to make you look bad. You're making yourself look bad.
And Alexis should be paying attention.
Mm-hmm. So that's all I gotta say. Let me get back to this hair. Love you.
And enjoy your day off.
Mm-hmm.
Bye. All right, we're gonna get to some more calls. I forgot it is Black Girls Take a Day Off. I forgot the official name, but I reposted it this week to remind y'all. So shout out to all the Black girls taking the day off. Okay. All right, Demi in the City is backstage. You're gonna bring them up next. Demi in the City, what did you want to say about the Real Housewives of Orange County?
Hey, Kempire. Well, at first I was very upset with how Tamara treated Shannon on this episode. I was like, Tamara, that was completely out of order.
Mm-hmm.
But then I also appreciate a very honest person. And sometimes honesty doesn't feel pleasant. But no, Shannon, you're not a victim. You're not. Like, no one honestly should feel bad for what Shannon is going through outside of the fact that she lost control with alcohol. Her losing control with alcohol is separate from what she is going through with John Jansen. And I think people are putting it all in like one big pot and making their own gumbo out of it. That's not what this is. She absolutely had no business drinking and driving out of rage. And you know what? Honestly, we're very happy that we're not telling a different story today.
Right?
Someone coming to someone's house drunk? Come on. You know what I mean? We know how things can go. So that's a separate situation. But I do appreciate her. Be like, girl, you were not a victim. You shouldn't have been doing this. You do owe this man money. Let's knock it off. And I do agree that with Heather, as far as I think you manipulated me. I think you used me. And she absolutely did. We're not going to pretend she was just coming to her in a vulnerable moment, because she could have went to Vicky with that. She could have went to Gina with that. And she didn't. She went to Heather with that. What else happened in this episode? Oh, one thing too, I wanted to call in the other day about the picture that Emily had taken of Shannon. That nice picture she had of her on the bed.
Yeah.
Remember she did her boudoir photos for her husband's for the anniversary? And then Shannon took a photo. That was a really nice picture of Shannon. It gave me country music singer. It was very nice. It was very nice.
Gorgeous.
Also, in some of the trailers, they're showing like the appearance of John Jansen and Alexis. Are they coming to London?
Oh, I think someone said that they did. I can't remember now. But
I
I didn't
know
see
how
it in
they
the
like
preview.
to, sorry, well, because they like to edit and play games with us where like things never really air or are what we think they are. That would be insane. Absolutely insane if Alexis and John showed up during Shannon's, let's not forget, birthday trip. Very crazy. But thank you, Kempire. I love what you do. I love watching you. I watch every single video you put out, and I'm a member.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your support.
Later.
Take care.
Bye.
All right. Shout out to all of you. I do appreciate. Shout out to our members. Become a member today at TheKempire.com/join. We appreciate that we did 2 members only lives this past week alone. I'm thinking of other ways of how we can upgrade our membership, but we do all kinds of things for the members. So become a member today. And if you are a senior royal, you have access to our plethora of videos from over the last couple of years. So go check that out if you are a senior royal. Okay. Theo says the producers want mess, per usual. Oh yeah, the Shannon pick. Nora says the Shannon pick did give Faith Hill vibes. She looked great. She really looked great. Shaki, I think that's you, or Shank. Shank says facts. Shannon is a lie. She sold. She should be sued. It was a loan, in her own words. Is that you, Alexis? I'm playing. I think we all can agree. I mean, based off of what she said on the show alone, it shows that she admits that that it was a loan. Fine, just admit it. But still, we feel like he's still very thirsty. Leroy, thank you for another super chat. Leroy says Andy was side-eyeing Shannon on Watch What Happens Live last night because she kept talking in a word salad. Was she drinking? Was she drinking last night? You know what they do on Watch What Happens Live. All right. Oh, Tamara's Leroy. Dominic says Tamara's Leroy. Team Tamara. Maybe. All right. Miss Bernice is backstage. You're going to bring Miss Bernice up. Miss Bernice, what did you want to say?
What up, Joe? How you doing? Happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday.
Okay, let me get my words right.
I love how you say that, Miss Bernice, and then you still...
Yeah. Okay. It's Friday. I don't just a strike on your channel, so I gotta choose my words carefully.
Thank you. Uh-oh. Hold on.
He's been on this show for the past 4 years, and we have seen him in action.
Mm-hmm.
So you're supposed to erase all of that, and you innocent now? No. Both of y'all abuse each other during this relationship. You was yin for yang of narcissism. Okay. And Alexis, Lord help her. She's so lost in the delusion. You better be taking notes, because I don't want to be with a man who's obsessed with his ex while he's in another relationship with.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, girl, now. And Tamara, the Jaguar right of Beverly Hills, whatever franchise, I can't take her no more. She have a half an ounce of a little truth, and then you going 40 going north like it's the real truth. If you don't shut your little butt up, that little chihuahua, you want to kick like a football through a goalpost. That's what I feel like when every time she get on air, she just start yapping. I just want to kick her. 3 points.
Not 3 points. All right.
3 points for a field goal. 3 points. And Heather, you are the HBIC. You keep the girls in line. So why wouldn't Shannon look to you to get sympathy so you can tell the other girls, dang, we wrong about Shannon. We all got to support her.
But,
duh.
Miss Bernice, but do you think that she was using Heather?
Stevie Wonder could see that she was using Heather. Come on.
Okay.
Know your position and know your role. You are the quarterback, Heather.
Oh, man.
And you got to keep your linemen and your wide receivers in check. They got to follow you. Come on now. And Emily, Emily, you so busy watching Heather, but you're triggered by everything that Heather do. But you can't stop watching her. Pick a lane and stay in that lane. That's about it. That's about it. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Miss Bernice. That made me chuckle. Have a great rest of your Friday. Bye.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye.
She said Stevie Wonder could see that's what Shannon was doing. Oh, okay. I just wasn't sure. I wanted clarity on what she was trying to say. Okay. A mess. If you're new here, if you're not new here, you know exactly who Miss Bernice is, okay? All right. Elsie's backstage. We're going to bring Elsie up next. Elsie, what did you want to share in regards to the Real Housewives of Orange County?
Good morning. Good
morning.
afternoon, Kempire and everyone else. Hi.
How are you?
I just want to say this. When Shannon brings up the note about Alexis and the Bellina lawsuit, and she says it to Tamara when she's out with everybody, Tamara just dismisses it. She's like, oh, whatever. Okay. So she already knows that Alexis was a part of it. But it just showed me how hateful Tamara is. She doesn't care that Jim and Alexis went after her and Shannon. She's just so mad at Shannon that Shannon didn't speak to her when she got fired or wasn't there for her, or and now she's gonna do whatever she can to bring Shannon down because she wasn't there. But I just thought it was real strange that she sent you the text message where Alexis said, we're coming after you.
Well, just for clarification, Elsie, Shannon says that Tamara wasn't on the text.
Yeah, but she also said that she sent a copy of that text to Tamara. Okay. And the only reason why Tamara didn't get one too is because Alexis didn't have her number. So she had already sent that to Tamara, and they had already discussed that way back when it actually happened.
Maybe she forgot.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure she forgot. You're absolutely right, Kempire. Have a great day, everyone. Conveniently, yes. Have a great day, everybody.
You too, Elsie. Take care. I love the differing opinions, guys. Please understand, we welcome your opinion. It's all about how you share it. So even if you are a Tamra fan, please feel free to call in or share your thoughts in the comment section. All right, last but definitely not least, Nasra's backstage. We're going to bring her up next. Hold on a second. Nasra, what's going on?
Hi, Kempire. Can you hear me?
Yes. How are you?
Good. How are you? The kitchen talk last night was fun, but I fell asleep. It's too late for me. We got to push that up a little earlier.
No, me too. I was tired.
Yeah, I missed out on the comments because I was like asleep. It was past my bedtime. But I must say, the Real Housewives of Orange County is truly the only enjoyable franchise I'm watching right now. They are fun. Don't get me wrong, they know the cameras are there, they are strategic, they are great, but they do it in an authentic manner. The other ladies could learn from that, from the other franchises. Like they're just, the other ones are so self-aware, everything is strategic, everything is conniving. I'm gonna get this one, I'm gonna do that to that one. At least with the OC, it's fun. It's like we're having a little fun time. There's a little smoking gun, someone's being shady to someone. It's at least fun. I don't like Emily and Gina. I never will. I don't know why. I'm sorry. I can't. Heather, one of my faves, she does hold a grudge, and she was being shady to Shannon. I'm sorry with that happy 60th birthday over and over and over again. And she doesn't like her age to be kind of told to everyone, even though she looks great.
She does.
She looks fantastic. But, if someone doesn't like something, you don't keep doing it.
No.
I think Heather and Katie can be friends. And I don't know if it's just Heather holding a grudge. I think they actually would be great friends. Even though I like Katie, I know she's a Karen. She's absolutely a Karen. I know she's that type. I already got the vibe. We know what it is.
And there's a story about her being a Karen.
Of course. With that lawsuit, I still don't know what's going on with that mess, but nobody does. Jen is an angel. She's just so innocent and so pure. Like, she doesn't think anyone would do something bad. I just love how adorable and innocent she is.
But she's grown. Look. We're still gonna hold you accountable. You're grown.
She has.
But I love her too.
I can't help it. Like, I'm just like, Jen, open your eyes. Like, get up. Like, stand up. Yeah. But I can't. I have a soft spot for her. She's an angel. Like, I think she's a sweetheart. Like, I just love her. And Jeff Lewis needs to have a scene at the reunion because he's stirring the pot in every franchise. Like, I'm kind of a little looking at him sideways. Like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing?
I mean, it's his meal ticket, really.
Right. It's like it is how he eats. Like, let's be honest. This is how he makes his money. And I will always, Shannon numero uno. That's the person I'm always gonna ride for. I know she's probably not the nicest backstage. I know she probably mistreats people. I don't doubt it. But to be honest with you, she has carried this season on her back. I am enjoying OC because of her and her foolishness. Yes, she's a mess. Yes, she did something wrong. I do think she's taking accountability. I do feel sorry for her. I don't know what it is, if it's just me, but I really enjoy Shannon. I'm sorry.
I think we can feel sorry for her, but still hold her accountable, because I do feel that he's trying to suck her dry, not just monetarily, but to also embarrass her on the show, and it's blowing up in his face. But at the same time, I think we can still hold Shannon accountable, but I appreciate Shannon by the end of the episode switching it onto something else. I was like, what? I didn't see this coming.
And let's call a spade a spade. Alexis needs to understand something. If you ever see a man mistreat another woman like that, he will do that to you in a heartbeat. And that's what bothers me about Alexis. You're not some prize, ma'am. Like, sit down and realize, I judge men how they treat their exes, and he's still obsessed with Shannon. He wants to be with Shannon. Let's keep it real. Because what is this obsession? It's not about the $75,000. It's just not. I'm sorry. It's not.
She needs to learn, but look, you know how my Jamaican mother would say, some have to learn the hard way.
At her big age, she should know better.
All right. Thank you so much, Nasser, for calling in.
Thank you, Kempire.
Take care.
And take care. Bye.
Well, y'all, that is our Real Housewives of Orange County recap. Shout out to those of you that called in. We appreciate you being a part of it. Shout out to everyone watching on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and of course here on YouTube. If you're watching the replay of this, be sure to let us know how you would rate this week's episode of the Real Housewives of Orange County. And let me know if you subscribe to the Kempire podcast. Because like I said before, a lot of you have subscribed and a lot of you listen, but you haven't given us a 5-star rating. Help us get to 1,000+ ratings on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify today. That goes for YouTube, TikTok. Head on over to your favorite podcast platform and subscribe today to the Kempire podcast. We are going to do some special things with the podcast, and you don't want to miss out when we go exclusively live from the podcast. All right, so make sure you subscribe today. Angelica, thank you so much for the super chat. Angelica says, maybe Crystal was right and Jeff Lewis wants to be a housewife. I mean, look, I hate when people run to that as a narrative because some people have said that to me. You just want to be a housewife. I'm like, why would I want to be a housewife? Why would I want to be under Andy Cohen? Just saying. Or sucking up to Andy Cohen to keep a position. No, I'm good right where I am. However, I do believe that this has really become a big part of his radio show. So this is why he plays into it. But Jeff Lewis has said some problematic things about women of color that makes me like, anytime I see him, like, because I see you for who you really are. Just saying. Anyways, I say all that to say, don't forget to like this video, guys. We're almost at 300 likes, and we have over 500 of you watching on YouTube alone. Shout out to the hundreds of you watching on Twitch and Twitter. We appreciate you guys watching there. I will see you all in the next one. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Friday. If you are a Black woman, take the day off. It's that day. It's your holiday. I hope you're enjoying your time off, guys. And I will be adding our charity fundraiser this month for, I forgot the name of the charity, but it's a charity that helps Black women with breast cancer and research for that, because Black women are greatly affected by breast cancer at an alarming rate. So we will be adding that to our videos for October. So donate what you can. Let's raise money for that organization. And thank you to Heather and Real Housewives of Orange County Production Evolution for including that at the top of the episode, because October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So let's help raise awareness and raise the funds for research. Thank you to all of you that called in. Shout out to our King's Guards holding us down on multiple platforms. Shout out to our team, Kempire, Royal Court, and Senior Royal members of the channel. And of course, thank you to our subscribers and those of you watching in the bushes. Hey, Tamara. I'm playing. All right, y'all. I'll see you guys in the next one. Let me play. What song do I want to play? I'll play the classic.
Walking like a G, sipping Hennessy, president of sweet, looking like a young Barack Obama. Skipping to the beat, giving hella heat. I'ma need a seat just to count up all these dots and commas. I think it's evident I'm the better man, I'm the jam. I'ma have you crushing like a four-wheel monster. Who you know who looking like this for real? Who you know who looking like this? Baby, baby, won't you listen to me? I got that flavor, I know you're dying to feed. I ain't no dancer, just got some hip in my feet. Now throw your hands up. Ooh, you bring the lighter, I got the fuse. You make a fire, I'll add the fuel. Follow my lead, just watch the shoes. Gotta turn the heat up to get this cool. Pick that chin up off the ground and flash that smile for me. Put some pep up in that step, it's going down shortly. Got so much weight up on my shoulders, all this jewelry on me. I wear my shades inside cause I go blind just looking down. Walking like the man, sipping Chardonnay on the balcony, looking like a young Elvis Presley. I've been overseas, I've been underneath, I ain't never seen nothing like a prison 12 o'clock. I don't know nobody looking like that, I don't know nobody looking like that. I don't know nobody looking like that, I don't know nobody looking like that. Baby, baby, won't you listen to me? I got that flavor, I know you're dying to feed. I ain't no dancer, just got some hip in my feet. Now throw your hands up. Ooh, you bring the lighter, I got the fuse.